I'm doing good.
Well, welcome y'all back to the Digital Den. I can't do the voice. I'm just gonna.
Can't do. You got a good thing going here. Don't ruin your good thing. I'm just telling you.
Well, guys, welcome back to the Digital Den. It is homecoming week. That explains what's going on here. So huge game going on Friday. Thank you again for joining us, Coach Marksbury, back in the studio. So went up to Franklin County and very good team. And you talk about a big football team at the high school level. They were some huge kids all around. So just take it away.
Well, I mean they've got a chance to win the state championship in 4A. I mean they're really good. Not only are they talented, they have a lot of good players. They are also very well coached, very sound. What they do, play hard. It's where you want your program to get to. Size, speed, system. They do what they do, and I mean must have 15, 16 coaches on the sideline. So that plays a role in it too. But yeah, I mean, we went in with a plan, and we were trying to execute it. Look, it was a monumental task for us. Anybody that was there could just see the size difference. But the one thing that we looked at, when we played South Oldham, the size and everything, I thought it kind of overwhelmed us. I don't think the other night when the offensive linemen would come off the field and we would sit down to talk, they weren't overwhelmed. So for me as a coach, those are things that I look at and say, okay, hey, there's progress being made. And but look, it was a huge task. It was a big night. It was their Little League night, Youth League night. So, but our kids went up. They battled. We tried to execute the game plan. But the one thing that we went into it, we knew it was going to be a huge task. We could not let Franklin County beat us twice, and that was huge for us. We didn't want to go in there and get a bunch of kids banged up to where when we get to the rest of our schedule that we're still dealing with injuries, and we got out of it really healthy. So we're excited about that and excited to get through the gauntlet that we just ran, that 5-game stretch of really good football teams, and not that the other 5 on our schedule are not good football teams, but we're battle tested. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm. You talk about the health report, and I know you know Kellen a little bit more closely, but Jarrett with his toe, and then Kyle's had that ankle issue I think all year. Like, how are those guys doing right now?
Yeah, I think we're good. It's no excuses.
If you had to put a percentage on it, what would you say?
We're 100%. Let's
Awesome.
go.
Love to hear that. All right, so into Western Hills. That's a district matchup. It's our second district matchup, our first home district matchup. What can you tell us about Western Hills' football team?
Well, I mean, they're undefeated. So they are a program that struggled some in the past, but they are undefeated coming in here. So this will be their first district game. They have definitely have some size, which it seems like everybody we play has some size on their defensive line, but they're confident. So, and they're a program that has struggled, and they got their schedule set up to where they could put some confidence into their team and everything like that. So on Friday night, I'm sure they are undefeated and they're rolling in here, and they expect to play well. They got a system a little bit similar to ours. It's a different scheme. I mean, it's the same type system, but they just do it a different way and everything like that. But they've got number 13 is a really athletic player, and he likes to hit, and they got some really good size on their defensive line. So we just got to do what we do. And the one thing that really kind of gives me a little bit of concern is they're definitely not a Franklin County or a South Oldham, and that's no disrespect to them. There's a lot of teams that aren't that, but we just need to make sure our kids prepare like we have the other games. And you don't want to take your foot off the gas and all of a sudden say, oh, okay, we made it through that stretch. Now we can take it. No, we need to, we need to prepare just like we have the other ones, and see where it gets us. But look, they're going to come in here. They're confident. They got some size. They got some kids that can run. They think they have a running back with almost 500 yards rushing, so he's averaging about 125 yards a game. They don't throw it real well, but we've got to be on our toes for that. Defensively, it's a similar scheme to what we do. It's an even front. So that should help our kids in the preparation aspect. But, the other thing, it's about the entire homecoming week at school, the excitement, everything that's going on, and then, leading up to Friday night, be a blackout. So it's exciting.
Mm-hmm. And you talk about Western Hills being district matchup and having to focus in on them and not stay locked out. The history of Western Hills, Spencer County, what is that like?
Well, we have not played them since I have been here. I do know the few years before I'd gotten here they had played them. It's probably, I think Spencer County's they probably faced each other a couple, not very much, maybe a couple of matchups, and I think actually it may be like 1-1 or something like that, or 2-2. But there's not a steep history of football games between Western Hills and Spencer County. But the key thing is for us is just to we'd love to host a home playoff game. So the loss Friday night, quite honestly, I don't think there's anybody in our district that's going to beat Franklin County. So we'd love to battle and get in here and get that 2 seed for the playoffs and have a home playoff game and see if we can get a run put together in the postseason. And that's what these next 4 games are going to set up. Western Hills, Henry, Shelby, North Oldham. That's going to determine our playoff. And a lot of the games there are games that are coin flip games. They can go either way, and it's how we take care of our business. But I do think there's one thing that we can, as coaches, we can sit back and see. We're making improvement. There is dramatic improvement. And the one thing, it's just the schedule. Sometimes it just beats you down. It just beats you down mentally, and the focus for us is just getting our kids back to playing fast. I mean, you can put the Hart County game on when we were fresh and excited and everything like that, and we played fast. And it's just over that stretch, we've gotten beat up a little bit, both mentally and physically, and we've got to get those guys back and get them playing fast and everything on Friday.
Mm-hmm. And when Western Hills comes in and they see the atmosphere and all that, is the plan going to be to hit them in the mouth right away, get off to a fast start, never look back, or is this going to be more of a strategitic game, kind of easing into it, feeling each other out?
No, I mean we've got to be us. I mean we've got to be we just got to take it, kind of like we did against Fairdale. I mean we have to be us and just go out there and play our game and play fast and take advantage of the things that that we have. Where we have the advantages on the field, and there are going to be some places where we have some definitive advantages, and we've just got to take advantage of those things. And again, it's a lot about us. It's just being us, playing fast, getting our defense lined up, and playing fast, and being physical, and all the things we do. And I mean, look, it's tough. I mean, you don't want to make excuses and everything, but look, Franklin County is really, really, really good, and they they're undefeated. And one thing about we're 1-4 right now, and the 4 teams that we lost to, there were combined record 17-2. So we're battle tested, and I don't know who put the schedule together, but they did, and so that's one we'll play, and we'll move forward from that.
Yeah,
I did put the schedule.
Yeah. You bring up Fairdale, and we on that week when we were talking about the game, we kind of threw on the term must win because it seemed like a very important game that we had to win. And now we're looking at these district matchups. These are games we have to win.
Must wins.
So I mean,
district
these
games
are all
must
wins.
Yeah, district games are must wins.
Now that we're past that Franklin County game and we have this 4 in a row district play, does this one especially seem like a tone setter, one that means a little bit more right now?
We just have to be, and I know it kind of sounds like a cliche or whatever, but I mean, we just have to be us. And, we were up there Friday, and we were trying to do some different things to try to give ourselves a chance. And I will say, the plan was working. We wanted to go into the game changing some of our blocking schemes up front against Franklin County, trying to confuse our defensive linemen. The play clock is 40 seconds. You have 5 seconds. probably that you run a play. So every play you run, we were trying to take 45 seconds off the clock and just slow the game down and just get a first down. Our goal was to get one first down. Then our goal was to get 2 first downs, and then it was just keep just milking the clock and grinding the clock down and keep the ball out of their hands, because we knew that they were going to be very difficult to stop. So the more time we can spend on offense, and then just try to get the game into the second half and be a scorer, just be in shouting distance and just see what happens. And Brady Smith made the huge interception. We were down 14-0. We got the ball at the 30. We throw the corner route to Kellen. They pass interference. We get 15 yards. Boom. Now we're 1st and 10 at the 15, down 14-0. You put that in. If we could have figured a way to score at Franklin County, score that touchdown, we might go into halftime. It's 14-7. Mm-hmm. So, but we didn't. We turned the ball over, and then next thing you know, it's 28-0 at halftime. So it's just, I think that turnover there kind of sucked the wind out of us, and in more ways than one. But I was proud of the way our kids handled themselves, and they competed. And we got a lot of young kids, some reps, and then at the end of the game, some of the young kids came in and made some plays. But yeah, this is a must. This is all district games from here on out are must wins for us, and to establish where we're going to the pecking order when we go into postseason.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk Jarrett, being the QB1 that inherits being the leader of the team. Mm-hmm. Just comes along with the job, and his composure after games, before games, during games is great. Great kid, but his performances have been frustrating at times, and opening up the season, going 0-3, yes, and then beating Fairdale, but coming out of there with a little bit of a turf toe. And then Franklin's just not going to be a game where you're going to get a lot of confidence. Anyways, so where is he at right now mentally? Where is he at ready to perform Friday?
Well, I mean, it's tough. You go into a game against Franklin County, and you go into it. You're playing a really phenomenal, the best defense we're going to play all year. I mean, they are really, really good. And so you go in, you're a little bit beat up and everything like that physically, and then that's not the game you want to go and try to get somebody, taken care of. But it's just one of those things. I don't want to say normal teams, but we're excited because we're into a game this week against teams that it's coin flip games. It's games that we can clearly see when we look at the video we can clearly see where the advantages are on the field for us and things that we can take advantage of. And yes, Jared's a key part of that. Kellen, Brady, Drew, Eric, all those guys are, our skill guys. They are clearly areas that we can take advantage of against Western Hills, and we got to make sure we can do that. And it's one of those type things. It's just anything, whether it's a basketball player with his shot, you miss some, and then the next thing you know, everybody goes through a slump, and it's not that, and we have 100% confidence in him, and just like we do all of them. I mean, Kellen's got to play better. There's a lot of probably the one thing that we have to do is we have some people that are experienced players that it's time for them to step their game up, and some of it be injuries or whatever the fact may be. It's time for those. We're game 6. It's time to clean everything up, and like the other night, we had a 3rd and a half yard and we jump off sides. 3rd and a half yard, we're going to get another first down. We're going to keep the clock moving. Boom, we jump off, and now it's 3rd and 6, and we can't get the first down. So it's just little things like that. But now he'll be fine. Jarrett's good. He'll be fine. Just got to make sure he's healthy, and we got to keep him healthy, and get all that mojo going with all of them there. But they'll play. I mean, we'll practice well. We'll practice well today. JV will go to more today, and we'll have a great week of practice, and we're excited about Friday.
I mean, you're right. It is time, and it's not because we want it to be time. It's because it has to be time. Because it's district play, and you never want to be playing your best football at the beginning of the season. You want to be playing at the end. So that even means that we don't want our best football to be right now. But it does need to be really good football. How far away are we from playing our best football? Will Friday be our best football
the great thing that I saw Friday, and it's like I said earlier, when we played South Odom, you could look at like our offensive line and stuff like that, and their size and their everything. We were just a little bit overwhelmed, and you could look in the kids' eyes and well, Friday I did not see that. Our kids were not. They were not look, the team was just better. I mean, and sometimes that sometimes that happens, and you're going to go up, and we've played probably two teams that were just clearly better than us, and we've probably played three teams that were coin flip games, and one of them went our way and two of them didn't. So, but what you have to do now is you just got to keep working and closing the gap. But one thing that we can see is there was Tanner Schuler on Friday played his best game of the year. Mm-hmm. So that's a key. Okay, so he's trending upward. Ryan Toby is getting better. Jace Phelps is getting better. Casey Coleman is getting better. So all those guys that are younger guys that are first-year starters, we can look at the film and see that they're getting better. So now you just think, okay, these really good teams that you've played, you've gotten a lot of experience blocking some really good players. Now let's see what happens when you're not playing a Franklin County or a South Oldham, hopefully, and then the other one thing that our kids need now is confidence. Mm-hmm. It's tough. I mean, it's tough when you get beat down physically, 46-0 to South Oldham, 41-0 to Franklin County the other night. I mean, those are tough on your psyche as a player, and we just got to make sure that we keep them built up, and it's good. Homecoming week's good. This is a good time for homecoming week, kind of get everybody excited and everything, and then everybody will come out Friday night, and hopefully we can take care of business on Friday and get on a nice run through the end of the season.
Yeah, and it shocks me every week how this team is just so much different from the football teams we had in the past. You can't get Nick to as much a smile on a game day.
All right.
You can't get Kellen to kind of get a little pep in his step walking down the halls. Do you think, even with that different attitude, do you think the atmosphere will boost them forward? Do you think that helps them, how it's been so far?
Yeah, no, and I just think everything as far as the team, and I mean, they are a different team. And look, there's a lot of things that I've learned about them as far as coaching them and how you have to handle them. And some kids, like kids on last year's team, you could challenge them, emotionally challenge them, and they would respond. It's like, oh no. And this group's just a little bit different. You can't challenge them quite as much because it's just they got different makeups, and it's just But they're a competitor. And here's one thing about them though, and it's really tough, is they're winners. I mean, they're all like our seniors. They have won so many football games and been a part of winning so many games. They know it's just them trying to figure out how to pull everybody along with them. Same thing with Jarrett. Jarrett's a winner. He's won a lot of games in baseball. He's won games in football. He's won games in travel baseball in all areas of the country. So the kid's a winner. So it does have an impact when you're struggling, and it affects you. It affects them more mentally than it does physically, and it's just like you prepare and you prepare and you prepare, and then you go out there on Friday night and you're like, oh my gosh, look at these monsters across the line from us. But hey, that's the hand you're dealt. That's who you got to play, and now we know where Franklin County is, and now we got to work on closing the gap to where if we see them on down the road, hey, we put up a better performance.
Yeah, and you talk about those young guys trying to hop on the backs of these seniors, and I think it's unreasonable to say that Brady Smith, you need to come in against Hart County and play your butt off, but. And even Brody, and yes. Danny, who's not an underclassman, but these guys coming in and young guys being in big positions, I think now, from a fan perspective, they're starting to find not only rhythm, but starting to find a place on the team. And from a coaching perspective, what can you speak to the role of those young guys right now?
Well, let's take Ryan Toby, for example. Yeah. Ryan Toby is a sophomore, and he's starting on the offensive line for us. And his first game starting was against South Oldham. So he started 3 games. 2 of them were against Franklin County and South Oldham. And, that's elite competition. So, he's probably feels like he's in a whirlwind with his, head spinning because of the teams that we faced. And, he performed very well against Fairdale, which was, a team that, that's where we are. We're on that level of team. But, it doesn't mean that when I say that, oh my gosh, well, there's no – what we have to do is what this team really needed was it really needed some opportunities in the schedule to where they could get their confidence, because that's really where they're struggling with. But when you have a program like we have, and none of those teams wanted to play us. So it's really, we got dealt the hand we got dealt, and it is what it is. I mean, so now we need the kids to just hey, we gotta go out there and play, and we gotta make some hay, and I totally expect them to play really, really well. And honestly, I really expect them to finish the season strong, and I think now that we're through that 5-game gauntlet, and I need to make sure that I'm making sure this is perfectly clear. This is not to say that the other 5 teams on our schedule are, but that 5-game stretch that we just played was really, really difficult. And they were physical teams, they were big teams, they were athletic teams, and if we can hold it together mentally and just play fast, that stuff's going to benefit us. It will benefit, and it will. And then people will sit there and say, "Wow, I didn't. That's not the team that I've seen." Well, they've been challenged, and hopefully they rise up. And I expect them to. I mean, I really do. I think they understand. They understand the process.
Yeah, I think Franklin County was kind of the cut of the season. Like that was kind of the weight on the shoulders, knowing that game was coming, and that was probably going to be one of the best teams we play, and that being at the midway point. And then looking ahead and being like, oh, we don't have a South Oldham after the Franklin County game.
Well, you just didn't want to, we just didn't want to go over there, and we wanted to go over there and compete and play and do everything we could to try to give ourselves a chance to win. But you also didn't want to go over there and come back and have, 6 or 8 kids this week all beat up to where they couldn't play at 100% on Friday night against Western Hills.
Yeah, and I think now when we were talking about that, the crazy schedule we had to open up, looking past Franklin County, you have a lot of tough district games and a Nelson County team to wrap it all up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tough schedule, but it's not just like there's a South Oldham in there. It's really 5 games where if we play really good football, we can go on a run going into the playoffs. And you don't want to look ahead, especially with a district matchup. But does that excite the guys a little bit?
Well, when you look at this, I told the coaches yesterday, this is when you sit there and you look at things, this is the old brings into account, hey, do you play a tough schedule and get yourself better that way, or do you play a schedule that gives you a bunch of confidence? Because this week is a perfect example of that. I mean, I would venture a guess if we played Western Hills schedule, we'd be sitting here 4-0 right now, just as they are. And we would be thinking, oh, well, we don't know what our flaws are. Mm-hmm. Here we are. If they had played our schedule, they're probably 1-4, 0-5, and a lot of their flaws would have been exposed. Well, now we're going to see how that plays out. Okay, they're coming in here now. The one good thing about it is they're coming in confident because they've struggled in the last few years, and now they're 4-0, so they're going to come in here Friday and they're going to be a confident group and everything like that. And our kids have been beat down a little bit with the schedule, and so we'll see. That's the old adage of playing a tough schedule and it makes you better. And as long as you can overcome and not let it just beat you down, beat you mentally, I think playing the difficult schedule holds. Again, I'll say it again. Hart County's undefeated. Franklin County's undefeated.
South Oldham has that.
South Oldham's 4-1 against the top
to
team in Ohio, and Collins is 4-1. So it's 17-2. So that's those are really good teams that we. Hart County we were in, Collins we were in, and we didn't really compete very well against the other two. But we'll get better.
Mm-hmm. Does a part of you wish that maybe we had one of those teams that Western Hills played here earlier? Are we just too into where you're like, this is this?
Well, it was a hand we were dealt. But yes, last year when I was putting the schedule, yes, this team needed. I don't know how to phrase it as a confidence builder. This team being the
graduate. County. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say the names. I'm not going to name teams, but this team needed a confidence builder, and they needed somebody that they could go out there and have some success against, and then be challenged. No, I'm not one that wants to go out there and play four confidence builders, and then next thing you know, you're rolling in to play Franklin County. That's not the way you schedule. But I do believe that this team and knowing the makeup of them and the mentality of them, I think a confidence builder in there would have been good for us. And but it didn't happen. No, those teams wouldn't play us, and we got the best schedule we thought we could get, and probably a game or two off. Mm-hmm. I mean, I in no way did I expect us to go through the first 5 games undefeated. Mm-hmm. I also, if somebody had come to me and said, "Coach, you'll be 2-3, 3-2 in the first 5, would you take it?" Yes. Right. We're probably 1 or 2 games off from where I thought we would be. Mm-hmm. And now we just gotta. It's time for us to show who we are. Yeah. And no excuses, no injuries, no shoulders, no toes, no nothing. Just play football. It's time for us to show who we are, and it starts Friday, and we're excited.
Yeah. Real quick, I'll never ask you to hate on anybody, but I'll hate on Anderson until the show's over. So, I mean, you talk about that schedule, and I mean, just hearing you talk about it today, it seems like a lot of the responsibility of, I guess, just that record, which when people look at it, it says whatever, but is there a little pressure on you where now we're playing a team that had all those, you don't want to say easy to disrespect their opponents, but had those games where they were probably the favored opponents in all of the games they've played so far, and we're going in there where we were probably not favored in any games so far. Is there a little pressure on you as a coach that, the philosophies of how you make a schedule are going up against each other and see that comes out on top?
Well, if you going back and look at our schedule, I think us and Hart County were even teams. Mm-hmm. They had a little bit more experience in this show. I still think us and Collins are even teams, and I think we would have probably played a little bit better on that Friday night if we had played when we got over there that Friday. We went back on Saturday and for whatever reason didn't play. And I think the Fairdale game, and going into the season, those are the 3 games that I thought we were even. And I thought South and Franklin County, they were just better than us, and we were going to have to play above our heads to beat them. So that's kind of where I thought it was going into the season. And, you probably hope the 50-50 games, you go 2-1 or 3-0 in the 50-50 games, and then you're sitting there 3-2. At this point.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling. But here's one thing about it. I don't think we know, as a coaching staff, 100% certain of where our strengths and weaknesses are because of the teams that we've played. They've exposed those, so we know. Mm-hmm. Now then, if we had been winning by 4 or 5 touchdowns, you're probably not going to have those deficiencies exposed, mm-hmm. and so we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see if we can expose some deficiencies.
All right, so let's talk that. Let's talk that matchup on Friday. Mm-hmm. What do we have to do to win? What are they really good at? What do we have to excel at?
They're going to run the ball. They're going to play confident. They got some kids on their. When you see them again, they're going to be bigger than us. Mm-hmm. They've got a kid. We
might have that issue every game.
They've got a kid. Their defensive line 6'5", 6'4", 6'3". So I mean they're big. Probably not as physical as Franklin County. Well, they're not as physical as Franklin County. We have to just take care of the football, and I know I say that every week, and just be us. And our defense, we expect our defensive line to give them some problems, and we just have to eliminate the mental mistakes and play confident and be us. And look, the kids know, and we will play well. They'll play fast, and we need to get our mojo back. Get that the crowd will be extremely beneficial Friday because we've got back-to-back district games here at home, and we need the crowd's help and the student bodies. We need this week to be exciting, and the kids. There's some positive things that we've had happen, and some players that have developed and everything like that, and we're excited to get out there and have some positive things happen and start the march towards playoffs Friday night.
Absolutely. And then what are those names that you expect us to be talking about when we get back here on Monday?
Well, Brady Smith's really playing well. Drew Barron had a phenomenal game on Friday night. played really, really well. Jared will play well Friday. Jared will play well. Our skill guys need to step it up and start making some plays. Offensive line is improving. Now it's time for our skill guys to step up. Defensively, of course, Ian Blanford, Nick Stowe. Hopefully we'll play with that White Locker. Last week he had a little bit of a wrist injury, but he'll be back 100% Friday, so that would be beneficial because he's very disruptive. Jacob Biller played. Jacob Biller played really, really well. And I will like to throw this out. Jacob got somebody landed on him, knocked the breath out of him. He came back. But I will throw this out. Tyler Estridge, his first year playing football, and he's a long snapper, DB. And Jacob got hurt. He came out. We punted. He snapped the punt right on the money, and then he went in and snapped the extra point right on the money. So for his first game, he was spot on that. And those are good things too, because that kid goes out there every day and works on that stuff. And we needed him, and he came through for us.
And I will say about Jarrett, it seems like there's a lot of patience from, I asked in the student section, he has a lot of boys and friends up there.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's just a lot of patience, I think, because everybody can kind of see it. And you think about Gabe, and the throwing ability wasn't always there, but he was just like, if it was a QB sneak, he was going to get it some way or somehow. And because it was kind of a different game in Franklin County as far as fans and student section not being as big, what is the message to the patients and to the fans who are sticking with this football team? What's your message to them?
I mean, it's just probably the most difficult position to play on the field is quarterback. There's so much going on, and and then as you're starting as a quarterback, and then you're playing a very difficult schedule, and your guys, some of the guys that you have are young, and it's just tough. It's really, really, it's a very, very difficult position to play. Gabe started for 3 years, and Gabe knew the offense. He could go out there and run the offense. He knew everything. And Jared is just he's fine. It's just you get injured, tough competition. He'll bounce back Friday, play big. Everybody's seen it. I mean, the scrimmages were great. First game was great. Collins, we had some success, completed some passes. But then you got banged up a little bit. When you get banged up, especially in football, it's tough. It's tough because you're out there trying to protect yourself and not get injured any worse. But he'll bounce back and have a huge game Friday. I'm sure of that.
And then obviously it is homecoming week. Does this week bring along excitement? Does it bring along any extra juices, you like to say, for you or anybody in the football team?
Well, it's just needed. Right now it's needed. I mean, look, it's no secret we're 1-4. Whatever it is, but hey, this is going to get the student body excited. It's with everything that's going on during the week. It's Monday. It's homecoming week. We got people dressed up. We got playing, taking their part in everything, and it's good. It's what we need, and I'm sure Friday's our district night for our entire school district. So we'll have a lot of our employees out there, our teachers and faculty, and all that. Those people will all be there Friday, and so I'm sure it's going to be a huge event, and hopefully we can do our part and send everybody home happy.
Yeah, I can't tell you how excited.
I know. I can tell you're
really
excited. You're about to jump out of the chair right now. So.
Well, we really appreciate you hopping on one more week. Thank you guys for tuning in as well to the Coaches Show. This has been Grandma Cam. Make sure to head on over to Instagram, thedigitalden.schs, and keep tuning in. This week is not going to be as busy. We got a lot of things that came in, so we're about to hit that pretty hard, and then I believe after fall break we're going to be coming back with a lot of new things. So stay tuned with that. A lot of good things happening. Homecoming week, it is Monday, September 18th. Tomorrow, September 19th, is going to be Decades Day and all that, but this gets uploaded Thursday anyway. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you. I'll just cut it. Well, that's the best thing we got ever given.
Good job.